Okay. Got it.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
I have made this course, or I guess more so class, master class, whatever you want to call it, because I feel like more people need to know what these tools are capable of, what they have done for me. And I'll talk about my experience later on in our time together. But I just want everybody to know about them because they are magic and I could talk about them forever. Some of you may know that. So I created this class. I called it the experience because I feel like that is exactly what it has been for me. I was in one place when I started, and I feel like my life has done a complete 180 through through removing the toxins from my system, clearing everything out, to supporting me on all the levels, which we will learn about here. So this is all about
Okay.
inviting doTERRA into your home for your well-being, to remove the toxins, and supplementing your body and so much more. And cool, now my slide's not moving. That's fun. Hey, technology. Let's try and do it that way. There we go. Okay, so if you don't know who I am, my name is Kate. I have been on a natural health journey for 6 years now, which sounds crazy because in some ways it feels like yesterday, and in other ways it's like a lifetime ago. I consider myself a woman living cyclically and in her power. And what essentially that means to me is, so cyclically means I am living in tune with my body's natural rhythms. So accordance to my like my cycle as a woman. Um, in accordance to the seasons of the earth, in accordance to the moon. And in my power just means not letting all that crap hold me back that I did for so long. Like, I'm over it, I'm ready to thrive, and I am doing the thing. I am a partner and I am a bonus mom. I have two bonus babes who have introduced me to this crazy life that I never, ever, ever thought I even wanted before it happened. I
Love
am a queen that is building community for women who are taking radical responsibility for themselves. I am a dreamer, but within that, I put forth the action to see the outcome. And I'm a social worker that is learning how to do her own damn thing. And what essentially that means to me is I've been in the field for about 14 years now, and I always had these goals to move up, to work through children's aid, because I was going to make change. That's how it was going to go. That was my life. That was my path. And I mean, I'm not going to get into all the details of what kind of halted that. Um, but it halted for the better because I realized that I have all the experience. I don't need the degree. I don't want to follow the regulations of all that stuff out there. And not in a bad way, just in a way that is kind of messed up. And there's nothing that I can, as a individual, do about it, unfortunately. So I'm just doing my own damn thing, creating community, sharing resources, being a support, which is the definition of a social worker amongst a bunch of other things, because there's so many roles. But I'm a social worker that is learning to do my own damn thing. I have linked there some stuff to get in touch if you want to. I'll share a little bit more how you can click links and stuff later, if that is something you want to do. Let's see if it, there we go. First try. So what do I want? I want time freedom and I want money freedom. And so time freedom to me means not working the regular old 9 to 5 that was set out for me. I even though that is what so many people want, the Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 in my case. But I don't want to live that lifestyle anymore. I want to be able to be home and making bread and going for walks at all time I want, and, just working, but in my own way and not in your typical way. And then money freedom for me, it means, for most of my life, since I started supporting myself, I have been living paycheck to paycheck, starting because I didn't have responsibilities and I just blew everything and didn't know anything about savings. But now more so because life is hard and I don't want that stress anymore for myself. I am building myself, my business, so that it's not so hard anymore, is really the intention. I'm not looking for like an end goal specifically, but I just don't want to live the paycheck to paycheck anymore. I can't do it. I won't do it. I'm moving through that. And of course, now I can't move my thing again. Let's try it this way. Okay, so some things that I currently offer are, so I have an intellectual ebook, which I made, wow, I think like a couple years ago now. It kind of started as, look at all these things we've been taught and that aren't real, that are crazy, but it kind of more so turned into really just unlearning and relearning who you are as a person, because there's different things that you can take and learn and resources and all that stuff. So that's where that one is. I have a rituals ebook, which is essentially just like a group. It's actually like 133 pages of just good things to do for yourself. Just good things to do for yourself. Sometimes we need that support. We need a little help and you don't know what to do or where to start, and this is really just a place to learn some things that I had never known before. And then I have my I Am Worthy challenge, which has actually changed its name to Bergamo Queen. And it is essentially a place to recognize how fucking amazing you are, because we are all amazing. Sorry, there's little ears there. I just remembered that. Bergamo, yeah, just remember how amazing you are, because we all are. There's just so much of that stuff that tears us down, and we need reminding sometimes. So my Bergamo Queen challenge is really just about learning about subconscious and conscious beliefs, where our stories stemmed from, and a whole bunch of other things that you can totally ask me about, and I will teach you whatever you want. And then I also have community. That has been I think I've been working at it for like 3 years. It at one point I think was on Facebook Messenger. At another point I tried this a Telegram app, and now finally I have settled on Voxer, which is my favorite app. And it just seems to grow as it's meant to. Like, it started with one person, and then there was two for like 6 to 8 months. Lisa, you were one of them. And now it's grown to like 12 people, I think. Now, not everybody's active, but that's not the intention. It's to kind of take what you need and go or not go, right? Like, I don't have any expectations of anybody. I'm just doing my own thing and sharing the things, because they're really not things that we're taught. So dōTERRA, so my story. So before dōTERRA, I had zero ideas about oils, companies, or actually, no, that's a lie. Sorry. I didn't have zero idea about oils. But I had no idea about like the power of them, the support that they had. I used to be somebody who was really closed off. I needed to experience it for myself. I started actually by buying oils from a different company, and really it was because they smelled pretty and somebody's told me it was a good deal, so I thought I needed it. And lo and behold, here we are 6 years later. I started paying attention to a woman who was doing her own damn thing. And so I asked questions and I kind of just followed what she told me to do without really knowing, but it was kind of a gut feeling that I had to do this. And well, I mean, toot my own horn, but look at me now, right? So I listened to what I was told because I was inspired. I slowly started to remove toxins from my home. It's still about like an 80-20. Like, I mean, you can walk through any room of my home and there's very limited toxins. Pretty much the only things that are some of Zach's things, because he doesn't like natural toothpaste or natural mouthwash or whatever. He's not a fan of the taste. So, I mean, really, those are pretty much the only things in my house that you're going to find that are full of toxins and not necessarily the greatest for us. But again, like it's an 80-20 mix. Nothing ever needs to be 100% in. So then I learned about the emotional benefits. And that's what got me, because as I mentioned, I am a social worker. The rest has been history, emotions, counseling. That has always been kind of my vibe. And yeah, the rest was history. So I have come to believe so deeply in the beauty of plants and what they have to offer us. And in this case, in the form of pure essential oils, I believe that they have so much wisdom to teach us. And I think it's important to know that, you know, oils are a really hot commodity on the market these days. And, you know, I think it should be known that there is no regulations on what you can or can't have in your bottle, or you don't have to tell people. So, I mean, in my opinion, oils are nature. Oils are pure. They are like gifts from the earth, which is actually what dōTERRA stands for. But so many companies like the whatever are full of synthetics, full of stuff that, I mean, in my opinion, I mean, I'm sure, yeah, sure, they smell pretty, sure, they probably work to an extent, but they're not pure, right? And again, that, in my opinion, is what matters. And so the difference with dōTERRA is that they have a whole initiative that tells you exactly where the bottle came from. It's actually called Source to You. Again, it's linked here. It's called Source to You, where you can like punch in the code of every single bottle that you own, and it tells you when it was distilled, like all the things. It's super cool to take a look at if you're ever interested. And then we have the co-impact sourcing model, which I am going to play a little like 5-minute video for you, because I feel, you know, this is kind of one of the other things that really caught me to dōTERRA, because it, like, I recognized how sincere they were, how much they cared about other people. So I'm going to put on this video for you. Just to watch, because I feel like it can explain it way better than me. And can we hear it? Can we hear it? Yeah, beautiful.
We knew that we would have to reach around the world at some point and tap into the global supply of essential oils. And we also assumed
my music's in here too.
that we would need to increase that as well. The fact that we were able to do it with this co-impact.
Welcome to technology again. Okay, let's try this again.
Sourcing model was just beautiful.
2/3 of the countries that we source our oils from are considered developing countries. And so we now have an opportunity to truly make a difference, to provide sustainable income for those people who are growing, harvesting, and distilling these beautiful oils for our benefit.
What we're doing through these initiatives are, first, job creation in rural areas where we can have a big impact. 2, working through long-term sourcing contracts and agreements with our partners. 3, helping the formation and organization of cooperatives, which share collective benefits among the harvesters and the growers themselves. 4th, fair and on-time payments, and even profit-sharing programs that the distillers offer to the growers and harvesters. 5th, through linking community-based and social impact projects funded through our Healing Hands Foundation.
For them to get the water, they had to walk at least an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, okay, back and forth. Today we can say that it's a special day because water has been flowing since midday today. With the help of dōTERRA, of course, and Healing Hands, okay, we put a good team together, and that's how today everybody is happy. On either side, it's like a win-win-win situation.
Sometimes it's schools that they're in need of, sometimes it's water systems, sometimes it's medical clinics, medical supplies, whatever it might be. If you can change the lives of these people that have so little, that's how you can actually impact an economy.
We share the same values, the same philosophy. dōTERRA's vision is to source sustainable oils and to create co-impact at the source to improve growers' livelihoods. So we are perfectly aligned in what we want to do. So that's why we signed an exclusive partnership with dōTERRA on the aromatherapy business.
We are now working with more than 6,000 families in the cardamom sector, and the idea is to really improve the livelihoods of that families. I get the importance of getting back to my country and help the people in my country.
Oftentimes they think that their lives will always remain the same. And for someone to be able to really come in and be able to care about them and care about their family and to give them a sense of pride for the work that they do, to know that it matters, it's amazing to see the lights go on and for them to truly have that pride in their heart to know that they're doing something good for the world. We are so committed to co-impact sourcing because this is a way we really see that we can make a difference in the world, in these countries that have no other means of help, have no other means of support.
Not only, of course, is meeting the needs where we're able to obtain the high quality essential oil that we must have, but also just the ability that it gives us to give back and to help so many people and to provide employment for so many people. That's been just downright magical.
See, totally worth watching, in my opinion. It just makes me happy, like watching that and watching the support that is offered from this company. They're helping so many people and there's no middlemen involved. So there's no people telling them what to do and how to do it. And just makes me happy. You know, I'm all about helping people too. So naturally I align here. Okay. Okay, so now into actual things to share. Well, not that those weren't actual things, but actual topics. So first I'm going to start with our physical bodies. And this is something that I have been essentially working on for, I'd say, the past year and a half-ish. You know, I find with myself, it was my mindset first before I could commit to doing any kind of physical activity. Like, it wasn't modeled for me when I was younger. I didn't know the things to do. And not that I'm by any means an expert, because I am absolutely not. I know very little. But you know, this is my story, right? My story. So again, I have spent a lot of my life not loving myself. I was always the bigger girl and putting my worth in what I looked like. I did not treat my body the way that I deserved. And finally, I got to a point where I experienced extreme back pain, where I realized that I had to make changes. And I recognized that it was only me that can make the difference. I have never, ever, ever been the diet kind of girl. I was like turned off by them. For some reason, some internal something told me that not for me, even though everybody said that's what you needed to do. It just wasn't. You know, I've never been somebody who likes the newest fad. I like to do my own thing. So it started with just moving my body more regularly. Which started with me. So back when I first, I guess it's been more than 2 years now, I worked with a kid. So I work in group care. I worked with a kid, and I would start work every morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I would work with this one girl, and I would come in the morning and I would make her do yoga with me. Most of the time it was her laughing at me, but I was moving my body, and that's what mattered. And that's where I started. And it slowly transitioned into like, I love, love, love my morning walks. I want to learn about the strength stuff, which is hopefully like a fall thing, like just gaining more like upper body strength through different things, still figuring it out. But yeah, really, it's just become about moving my body, whether that be walks, whether that be yoga, whether that be really just dancing out my energy, because that's another great tool. So now I am trying to focus on the food, which I'll talk about later. Really just trying to remember what it is that makes me feel good versus what makes me feel shitty. Like, I remember the days where I used to like crave a McDonald's burger. Now the thought of it kind of grosses me out. And there's no shame in loving McDonald's, because like it's good, it's grease, it's good. But I'm just kind of at that point where it doesn't make me feel good, so I'm not going to do it anymore. I mean, obviously there'll probably be times, but for the most part, I have zero interest. So Deep Blue. So this is the stick that has copaiba in it. It is one of my all-time favorite things. I mean, I say that, but I have a lot of all-time favorite things with doTERRA. There's a lot of things that help me with different stuff. But essentially it provides maximum OTC strength that is plant-based with menthol. It delivers temporary relief to aches, pains, arthritis, bruises, sprains. It is my absolute favorite to use for cramps, my time of the month. It is what helps me. Oh, sorry. Just trying to, there we go. Let's do this so I can see. So again, it is my favorite thing to use when I'm cramping a lot. This stick, it contains wintergreen, copaiba, peppermint, eucalyptus, blue tansy, ylang ylang, helichrysum, and menthol. I have an episode linked up there, which you can get access to after, just to listen to more about it, teach you more about it. It is a powerhouse. I carry it everywhere with me. And then we have the cream, which is kind of where I started. So this, again, it's for the same things, whether it be cramps, whether it be arthritis, whether it be whatever pain or whatever you're feeling. It has a cooling and soothing sensation. It's really great for massage and for the tired muscles. If people are asking me about it, I like to compare it to like an A535 because people know what that is. And it's natural. It doesn't have all the crap in it. This is a tool for post-workout, long days of working in the office, gardening, etc. Quick little tip for you. If you're using this, always, always, always promise you wash your hands. Always. Because going to the bathroom after you've used this cream, well, it burns. I'm just going to leave it at that. So just remember to wash your hands after you use this. I can tell you from experience, it's not fun. And then we have the polyphenol complex. So these are things that can be taken daily. It's a source of antioxidants for our bodies. And so antioxidants are the molecules that help your body fight off the bad stuff like free radicals, which like hold a purpose in our bodies. You know, essentially just without it, it can cause a lot of harm to ourselves, to our bodies. So these help protect against and reduce the oxidative damage caused by free radicals. And it's for the active person. So it contains frankincense, turmeric, green tea, ginger, pomegranate, and grapeseed, all the good things for your body and for, you know, when I think about turmeric, I think about inflammation. When I think about frankincense, I mean, that's the king of oils, but it's good for like cellular health. So all those kind of things. And again, there's a link there that you can click if you are curious about learning any more. And then if you are a yoga person, or if you're not a yoga person, that's okay too. They have a whole yoga collection. And these are oils that support in, well, essentially what yoga does for us. So they have the anchor oil, which helps bring on feelings of being complete, being very calm, grounding, and courage. They have Arise, which brings in like, you know, all of doTERRA's oils are kind of named after essentially like what they do. So Arise is like feelings of happiness, courage. You are arising. Is that a word? It is now. And then we have the Affirm oil, which is self-acceptance, trust, and fluidity. And even if you don't look like yoga, they are great for all those kind of things. And then we have peppermint, which is kind of funny, as I just had a peppermint beadlet explode in my mouth as I got to this slide. So peppermint is something that can be used to cool you down. I got home and somebody turned off my air conditioner, so it was hot in here. So my first go-to was I put peppermint on the back of my neck, and it completely like, it kind of just gives you chills, just like right down your body, just so you're not so hot. I add peppermint to, I make matcha tea in the winter. I add peppermint to it to give it like that minty tea flavor. Mice, they hate peppermint. So I live in the country, and well, of course, mice like to make an appearance every, as it starts to get cold. But if I put peppermint on like little cotton balls and I stick them in my drawers, they don't go through my drawers, because that's where they like to go. Unless I forget. Usually it takes once a season for them to come in for me to, or me having to clean everything through my drawers for me to remember to use the peppermint. But once it's there, we're pretty solid. And then we have, it's good for your digestive system. So the beadlets that I was just talking about, really mints are just really good for, you know, calming, not calming, like indigestion, really all the stomach things mints are really good for. And it's also great for allergies. It is a part of their big allergy blend that doTERRA has. And it's also something that I will add to a sinus steam that I make if I'm having like some sinus issues, and it just kind of like clears you right out kind of thing. And then we have Motivate. So Motivate is that one that you need if you are struggling. It is that one that, you know, when you don't want to get moving some days, you put it on, and it just kind of, it's hard to explain how it happens or how it works. It's just plant. I mean, well, let's go into the woo a little bit. And if you don't like that, I'm not your person. Plants are connected to us, like we are a part of nature, right? So plants, which these are made of, which we've learned, connect to us on a cellular level, and they bring us up or bring us down or kind of whatever we're looking for. And motivate is that one to use when you don't want to get moving. It's the one that I use specifically when at work. If I'm having an off day and I don't want to do things, it's the one that I will use to help give me that like little boost. It counteracts negative emotions of doubt, pessimism, cynicism, and more. And it brings on belief, courage, creativity, and confidence, which, I mean, is just great. I think we're all creative beings. Again, there's just so much that has talked us down, and this is a good tool to use through that if you so please. And, you know, I'm not going to go through everything because we will literally be here all night. But doTERRA on a physical level, there are countless ways to support your body. So I'm just going to see if I can pull this up for a second, because I wanted to show you my book, which I refer to as my Bible. This is like an older edition. There is a newer one. I don't think you can see it. Maybe not. It's called The Essential Life anyway. And again, this is an older version of it. I have so many sticky notes in here for tabs. But the coolest part about this book is that they have a section in here that you can say you're experiencing, well, whatever you're experiencing, you can go into this book, into this section, look up whatever it is you're feeling, and it'll tell you the supports for it. So like, I'll give you a couple examples. I'm just on this page. Diabetes, it gives you supports to use if you're diabetic. Cysts, you got cysts, it gives you the tools to help with that. What are some other ones? Well, there's lots, but I wanted to get like a little well, for hangovers, it's good for that. They got tools to help you when you drank a little too much. Hay fever, head lice, headaches, hiccups, heart issues, rashes, preeclampsia, if you're pregnant, literally you name it, it's probably in here, and there are tools and tips that you can learn further about it. And even cooler, like it gives you the page that you go to, and it teaches you about that thing. So like I'm just gonna leave it at that. Highly recommend this book to everybody who is into the natural stuff. So other things you can find or that you can support you with doTERRA is, so there's like a natural polysporin, which I use all the time. It's my favorite to use actually, like as a lip chap, but also really anything you would use polysporin for. You can support with all your aches and pains. There's an oil that is considered nature's band-aid. You put it on and like you stop bleeding, healing the skin, inflammation, if you're wanting to detox, headaches and tension, literally all the things. However, one thing I will say is that when it comes to healing, I'm not going to say healing because it doesn't fix you, supporting through things, you really need to believe it. Like you really do. You need to believe that plants have an effect on us, because I remember when I first started and I was told the things to use for headaches and it never worked. It wasn't until my mind was open And I started, again, it happened with the emotions. It wasn't until my mind was open and I started to believe that that headache roller that I was using started to work. Ask me how that works. I don't know, but I truly believe that you have to believe in order for these things to be a support to you. Now, nourishment, which is something that I am, again, another one of those things that I am still learning about, talked about it a little bit in the sense of just really trying to pay attention to what feels good and what doesn't. And so it's important to note that our health is not just determined by food. It is determined by many things: our energy levels, our exercise habits, our diet, our stress levels, exposure to toxins, and our overall feelings of well-being. So tools that I have used to support my nourishment journey, I have linked a podcast there. It's from somebody that I listen to regularly, Mark Groves. I believe the episode is called Healing from the Inside Out or something along those lines. But yeah, you can click it if you're interested in listening to that. And then we'll talk about our soils, supplementing our bodies, learning some things about my metabolism, and understanding what the heck protein and fiber and all the things are for and how they support our bodies. So our soils today are much more depleted of vitamins and minerals compared to that of our ancestors. This is something that I began learning really, really early in my journey, but I didn't implement changes for myself for quite a few years. I'm a big believer that once you heal or start working through one aspect, the others just kind of come, because that's what happened with me. So 8 oranges today are comparable to the nutrients of 1 orange back then, like our ancestors, great-grandparents, like them. So this to say, many of us lack many things that lack many things in our bodies that help us in being at our optimal health. So supplementing our bodies. This is another thing that, in my opinion, is being taken over by Big Pharma, because, the benefits of supplementing your body are recognized. I truly think that it is important to know where your supplements are sourced from if you want the true benefits. Maybe you're somebody that has heard your doctor or has heard somebody talk about your doctor saying, well, you'll just pee it out. There's no point in taking it, you'll just pee it out. But that doesn't happen if they are sourced properly. Your body takes what it needs, essentially. But also there's some things that I've learned about maybe not needing to supplement your body. So I know that counteracts each other, but let me explain a little bit. So based on what I have heard, what I have learned, and again, it's not something that I've dove significantly into, but what I get from not needing to is when you have a whole food diet. So for example, drinking raw milk, which is illegal in Canada, if you're from here, making your own breads, getting all your veggies from the gardens, getting your meats from actual farmers, not the grocery stores. And I know that that's expensive. That's a whole thing. I'm not, most definitely not there, but I aim to get certain parts of there at some point when I'm able to. So I think that's kind of what I gather is when you don't necessarily need the supplements. All right, so let's talk about lifelong vitality. This is the #1 product that dōTERRA has. It is designed to be used in conjunction with healthy habits like regular exercise, healthy eating, proper rest, and stress management. And each product offers benefits important to our lifelong vitality. So first, this one, first there is the Microplex, which provides 22 bioavailable critical vitamins and minerals, and it supports the normal growth and function of our cells. And then we have another one, alpha C. Sorry, this is all part of one kind of package, but you can buy them separately if they're all not your thing. Then we have alpha CRS, which protects against free radical damage. It supports healthy immune function and digestion. And then we have XEO omega, and it supports cardiovascular, joint, and brain health. And, you know, just a side note about what our cells do, because if you're anything like me, you're not a science person. And I had zero idea until I did. So our cells serve 6 main functions. They provide structure and support. So like, think skin. Our skin is made up of like zillions of cells. They facilitate growth through mitosis. So that's the reproduction of our cells. They allow passive and active transport. So that's like making sure the nutrients get in your body and making sure the stuff like leaves your body. They produce energy, they create metabolic reactions, and they aid in reproduction. This is, like I said, this is the #1 product. They even have a whole 30-day back guarantee. If it's not working for you, you'll get your money back if it's not your thing, which it's totally not everybody's. I've been taking this for, gosh, I think 4 years now, and like I'll just leave it at like I can tell when I miss it based on how my body feels. And then we have the Canadian healthcare system. I'm not going to get too into detail about this, but I thought it was important to mention because some of the products that I use are not available in Canada, and that is strictly because of the Canadian healthcare system. So I pasted a link there called, it's a website called Save Our Supplements. It's this whole initiative that's going on here in Canada these days that you can learn about if you feel called to. So I order my order every month from the US, again, because I can't get a lot of my stuff because of our world. And, you know, it's really not as expensive as some people might think. I kind of counteract it with, or I was taught to look at it as though in the US, yeah, I'm paying the exchange rate, but I'm not paying the 13% taxes that I do here. So it kind of evens out. And, you know, honestly, like, you learn to budget with the things that matter, in my opinion, or in my experience. So the first one I'm going to talk about is protein. So protein helps build and repair our body's tissues. It acts as an energy source by storing nutrients in our bodies. So this specific protein, it provides 22 grams of a protein blend with 8 grams of fiber per serving, which helps satiate hunger and increase our protein intake. This is something that goes in my smoothie every single morning. And it is free of GMO, gluten, soy, RBST hormone, and synthetic ingredients. You can get it in chocolate, which I put there because that's my favorite. It tastes like I drink a chocolate milkshake every day. But it also comes in vanilla and a vegan option. And then we have the fiber. So evidence shows that fiber intake can help benefit digestion and reduce the risk of chronic disease. So dōTERRA's fiber provides 6 grams of soluble fiber. It is a support that can help control appetite and optimize our blood sugar levels. So this one contains lemon essential oil for like the taste, and a unique prebiotic blend to support a healthy microbiome. And, you know, again, I think it's important to note that our gut health is just as important as our brain and body health. I've learned that our gut is just as powerful as our brain. You know, lots of things that are out of maybe alignment, a lot of times come back to how our guts are feeling, or guts are managing, however you want to say that. Managing, yeah, that works. And then we have the greens. This is another thing that I drink every single morning. I think it tastes good. It reminds me of like a little fruit punch, sort of, in a way. And, you know, less than 1/3 of adults eat the recommended amount of fruit per day. So the greens help to supplement what we are missing. It provides the equivalent of 1 to 2 servings of fruits and vegetables and can support a good metabolism. It's natural, non-GMO, vegan friendly, and gluten-free. And it tastes good, like I said. And we have TerraZyme. So much of our food in today's society does not break down in our bodies properly. So this digestive enzyme helps support in doing that. So enzymes are specialized proteins that function as catalysts in almost all cellular functions and chemical reactions throughout our bodies. They play a critical role in growth, healing, and reproduction, and they are also necessary for breathing, thinking, immune function, hormone regulation, and detoxification, to name a few. And I don't think you can see it there, but underneath my like little talking thing, there's a link. It's a really cool experiment that I've watched so many people do, but I've never done for myself for some reason, even though I have it here and I use it. But it's just essentially putting the powder from the capsule in bowls of yogurt and just like watching how it breaks everything down. So that's what it does, like on the inside of us. Super cool. And then we have PB Assist. So this is your probiotic, and many probiotics on the shelves don't even make it through our body systems and get to where they are supposed to go. So dōTERRA's PB Assist does. It is double encapsulated and can give you the support that your digestive system is asking for. It protects the sensitive probiotic cultures from stomach acid, again, meaning it safely and effectively delivers the well-recognized digestive and immune benefits of probiotics. So PB Assist combines a proprietary, we're going to just go with it, formula of prebiotic fiber and 6 strains of probiotic microorganisms in a unique double-layer vegetable capsule. It delivers 6 billion CFUs of active probiotic cultures and soluble prebiotic, can't say this word either, fructoglyceric. Yeah, we're just gonna leave that there. All that encourages friendly bacterial growth in our bodies. And now to learn a little bit about our metabolic health. This is something I learned about last year when dōTERRA came out with the products that we're going to talk about. So I think it's crazy to note that only 6.8% of our population has optimal metabolic health. 6.8%. That is mind-blowing to me. Yeah, and so a healthy metabolism, supports energy, weight, body composition, sleep, and cognitive performance. Metabolic health means your body can digest and absorb nutrients from the food you eat without the spikes in blood sugar, blood fat, and insulin levels. So they created a whole line that they have named MetaPower. So it is the system that is designed to support your metabolic health. It is a support for your body to help digest and absorb nutrients from the food without, again, spikes in blood sugar, fat, and insulin. The same list of things that makes you look old on the outside make your cells act old on the inside. Again, it's not an area that I have completely dug into, but I've learned quite a bit about. So this whole line, it is the whole line is based off of a blend that was created that like makes up this oil. So the line consists of sorry. The blend, oh my gosh, I got off track a little bit. The blend is the basis of everything in the line. Preclinical studies actually suggest that it supports naturally increasing NAD and NADH levels in our bodies, which I'll tell you about in a second. In my experience, it helps satiate our hunger. They have gum, beadlets, and soft shells. And then they have the assist, which turns fast carbs into slow carbs, reducing our mealtime blood glucose spikes. And then there's the collagen, which I did a whole thing on, because this is the product that I use daily. So collagen is the main structural protein in our connective tissues. Our natural collagen starts depleting in our 20s. So think joint pains as we get older. The narrative that this is normal, well, it is because our collagen has been decreasing, right? But when you do things like taking collagen, it really supports and helps that. And so most collagens on the market only contain 1 or 2 collagen peptide types, which are chains of amino acids that become proteins. This version, dōTERRA's version, contains 9, each supporting different biological systems, from bone and cartilage strength to skin elasticity, etc. And so by supplementing with the naturally derived NMN found in Metapower Advantage, you can support your body's ability to produce NAD, optimizing your metabolic health and extending your health span. And again, I need to mention that these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration and is not intended to diagnose, fix, all of that stuff. So NMN, what that is, I've talked about it a couple times. It is the molecule that helps power our bodies. This is converted into another molecule called NAD, which again, I've already mentioned, which our body needs for metabolism things. All of the cells in our body require NAD to function properly. NMN can help promote insulin sensitivity, heart function, and reduce tiredness. This product is, if it's not already, it is going to be the #1 product dōTERRA has. I have seen an abundance of testimonials from people who have talked about the things that it does for them or has done for them. And everybody's body's different. Everybody's bodies are different. So there's no one answer or one thing that it's going to do. Like for me specifically, I recognized a huge weight release. Like I had been doing the things for a while, but taking this regularly helped my body release a lot of weight. And again, I'm not saying that this is a weight loss product, because it totally is not. There are many things that it does for people, like help support sleep. Really it's kind of noted as helping your body do whatever your body needs. It's kind of cool. There's a whole testimonials page on Facebook that I can connect you to if you are at all interested. And now our personal care. So all of dōTERRA's products are clean of all the toxins that are bad for our skin. What we put on our skin matters. It just does. And I'll tell you a little story about what I used to experience compared to what I experience now. So back in the day, I used to develop cysts almost. I don't know if that's what you'd call them, but essentially they were cysts under my arms and in my groin area. Didn't know what it was from, all of the things. As soon as I started using non-toxic products, so my deodorant, my soaps, my things, I have been free of them for 5 years now. Haven't come back. Like, mind blown. Just crazy what we, like I said, what we put on our skin, it matters. And I am not going to get into all of it on here because, again, there's quite a few options based on like our own personal use. I'm just going to give you a few of my favorites. So we have the shampoo and conditioner. This is something that cleans, revitalizes, strengthens and protects and restores your hair's natural body and shine. The conditioner is a great detangler while restoring volume and shine. I love these. I have no complaints. I am a person who only washes their hair once a week. And I feel like this does a pretty good job. Not to mention it is infused with mint. So like, just imagine that minty tingling on your head as you wash it. It is lovely. Lovely. And then we have the leave-in conditioner. This one is new to me. I just got it about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whenever my last order came in, just because I wanted to try something new for the frizz that I have, curly girl problems. So far, I really like it. I feel like it's tamed the frizz a lot. It is also a detangler, and it acts as a heat protectant. So that's cool for those people who are into like straightening and curling and all that jazz. And then we have sun care. This is another thing that I just got this summer. It has actually only been around 2 years, I believe, maybe even just a year. It's fairly new. But it has 30 SPF, and so the options are, it comes in like a stick. So this is like something I would use for my face. I don't have the stick yet, but I'm definitely getting it next summer. They have the face and body cream, which I use for my kid's face, my face. And then they have the spray, which is, it's a body spray. You just kind of spray it all over you. And again, it's free from harmful synthetics such as oxybenzone, benzene, parabens, and phthalates. Plus all 4 of them are vegan friendly and cruelty free and reef safe, which means we are not harming the oceans if we're going in, because other sunscreens on the market, they do. They're not good for all little animals in there. I guess there's big animals too, but they're good. They're good for that. And one of my favorite things is, diving into natural options, is that you can make a lot of things on your own, and it doesn't need to be as scary or as time consuming as one may think. This is where I started. And, I still make a lot of my own things because it's budget friendly, and I'm a girl on a budget. So the things that I make for myself now are face wash, body wash, my toner, my moisturizer, and my deodorant. And I promise I'm not a smelly girl. I make them all. And again, I have no complaints. And then we have the baths, which are one of my favorite things, and you can really do anything with your baths. So one of my favorites is a detox bath. These are common for when I'm feeling run down, starting to feel like a cold coming on. I use rosemary and Roman chamomile mixed with some bath salts and baking soda, and it just acts as like a really good detox for my system. You can also use not necessarily these 2 specific oils, but supports for like when you have cramps, when you need to deep relax, just think of why you would take a bath and amplify it with the supportive plants and all the lovely things. Let's talk about sex, baby. I get that song stuck in my head every time I read this slide. So there are many tools to use in our sex lives. So one of the great ones is coconut oil, because, well, everybody needs that lube sometimes. It acts as honestly, it's great. We're kind of, sex is almost shameful, or I mean, I guess not for everybody, but like in my family it was. I never talked about it. We weren't taught all the things. There's wow, tripped over my own words. There is, you hear the narrative that there's something wrong with you as a woman if you need any type of lubricant, because you should be able to do it by yourself. But sometimes a little extra stuff is just good, and coconut oil is I'm doing like the thumbs up thingy, whatever, great solution for that. Another one is the passion essential oil. It is great to, rub between your legs, just kind of maybe to get you in the mood if you need a little support. Just think of all things passion. And then we have ylang ylang. These ones are my favorite. There's obviously other options, but ylang ylang brings out the goddess in you. It makes you feel good about yourself. And I mean, who can't use that every once in a while? And I'm just going to add in another thing here that, undoing some of the stories we told ourselves about what sex was supposed to be is super important. And, actually a journey that I'm kind of on right now and learning and unraveling. Super great, super important. if that's your thing. Okay, our environment. So we are our environment. So from the people that we surround ourselves with, the thoughts that we allow to inhabit our minds, and in the case that we were talking about here, the toxins in our home. So our world is full of toxins, and we can't control it all. But the way that I think about it is to control what we can by replacing the gross stuff in our homes. And as I mentioned, I think at the beginning of this, my home is very much toxin free, like an 80-20 kind of thing. I control what I have the ability to control. So what do toxins do to our systems? So the chemicals and toxins that are found in the majority of our household products clog up our entire body systems on a physical, cellular, and emotional level. When you replace them with cleaner options, you are freeing yourself of all the stuck and stagnant things that are going on excuse me, in your entire being. Sorry, I was going to take some water. So again, as I mentioned at the beginning, a part of my growth was recognizing my body clearing out of all the crap that used to be here or be there. Sorry, I had a little choking fit for a moment. Okay. So a little deeper, let's just talk about some of the things that are in our homes and what they do to us. So there's parabens, which are found in your cleaners, your personal care items, and these are things that are linked to hormone disruption. And then we have fragrance, which are your candles and literally anything smelly. And this is linked to things like hormone disruption and asthma. When you remove the chemicals, I can almost guarantee you will notice a fresher feel to your home. And then we have the PFAs, which are makeup and personal care that affects your liver, your pancreas, your thyroid, immune system, and again, hormone disruption. And then we have bleach and chlorine, which affects your respiratory system and is a skin irritant. And then surfactants, which are in your detergents, your soaps, your shaving creams, they affect the inflammation of your skin and your lungs, and they damage other organs. And then the BPAs, which are plastics, and these kind of things are linked to cancer, reproductive issues, weight gain, and heart disease. So again, as I mentioned, making my own products was one of the first things I did on my own journey. Again, I made them because I didn't have the budget to buy them. And although expensive up front, I ended up saving in the long run compared to the stuff in our grocery stores too. I learned how to reroute my money from things that I didn't need to products that were going to help me in the long run. And without a doubt, I can say that this transition has helped me in all the ways. So when our bodies are plugged up with all the toxins that surround us, it affects how we feel, again, on a physical, emotional, and spiritual level. And once you know and have experienced the difference, I promise you won't want to go back. So household products that I still personally make, I make my laundry soap, my body wash, my hand soaps, and again, all my personal care, which I had already talked about. Did I? Yep, I just went backwards. Okay, so first we have to talk about is the Abode line. So it is a common misconception that you need harsh chemicals to have a clean home. Because of this, you may be exposing yourself and your family to harmful synthetics in some of the most important areas of your home. So where you prepare your food, gather for meals, wash your hands and body, and more. But your home is an ecosystem, and you should feel good about the products you use to clean it. This is one of my this is one of my favorites. You know, if being eco-friendly is your thing, this line and most in dōTERRA is created with sustainability in mind. So lots of things are reusable, amber bottles for each product, refills, packaged in aluminum, glass, and some plastic. Oh, why does it keep going back here? So included in the Abode line is, so they have a liquid dish soap, which I absolutely love. It took me a long time to, well, I tried a lot of different things before they came out with this line. And I just wasn't sold on the dish soap. Like I tried making my own, I tried a couple different things and I just wasn't feeling it. This is the first one that I love and it smells good. They also have like all-purpose like concentrate refills where you just pour in the bottle and you add water. They have laundry pods, dishwasher detergent, hand lotion. I'm sure I'm missing something, but they're all made with distilled. So this line is made with distilled lime, pleasssee, cassia, lemon eucalyptus, tea tree, arborvitae, kochi eucalyptus, cilantro, lavender, and lemon myrtle. And honestly, like it, you hear, or at least I did, is I like that clean smell. This is that clean smell, just non-toxic. I love it. And then we have our On Guard, which I also use quite a bit. So this was their original cleaning line, was On Guard, and Abode just kind of amped it up. So On Guard is the one that supports our immune system. So I always used to clean my homes with this, obviously, because this is what they had before, and still do. But it was supporting, while I was cleaning my home, it was also supporting my immune system it was supporting my immune system. So this one is one that I will actually add the oil at certain seasons. I will add the oil to my coffee in the morning to give it like a little cinnamony punch to it. Not really cinnamon, I guess cinnamony is the best way to explain it. And it's just a tool to support my immune system. So it's made with wild orange, clove, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary. And again, I already talked about this, the things that I make of my own laundry soap. I use dryer balls for my laundry, and I make like a spray for the dryer balls so that my laundry like smells. Usually I use like a strong earthy smell. So that goes in my laundry. I use lemongrass in my steam mop for when I mop my floors. And I also make a fruit and veggie spray. So like that cleans all the stuff off of them. And our emotions, which again are my favorite thing. And obviously I had to save the best for last. At least I think I'm pretty sure this is last. So our emotions. Again, see, I get ahead of myself. So again, of course, I am a social worker by trade. I have spent much of my career life trying to determine what a kid may be feeling based on the actions that they are presenting with, often while ignoring my own until like recently-ish. This is the society that we grow up in. Emotional intelligence wasn't taught for so long and was often frowned upon. It is getting better, I acknowledge that. But we still have a society of millennials and older or above who were not taught and therefore project all their unspoken, unresolved feelings in ways of anger, judgment, etc. And I've pasted a link there for another podcast that's called The Function of Our Emotions that just kind of goes through the things to teach you. So something that I believe is that when we don't acknowledge, work through, and release all the feels and emotions that come with life, I think that they lie stagnant in our systems and come out in forms of disease, mental health, and shitty immune systems. Having the ability to label, acknowledge, feel, and release them, no longer allowing them to hold us back. This is a whole thing that takes a lot of work, but continuous work that we won't get into, and like continuous work that we won't get into here, because again, this section is about the tools to use through some of the emotions. So what do chemicals do to our systems? Which again, they are found in the majority of our household products. They clog up our entire body systems on a physical, cellular, and emotional level. When you replace them with cleaner options, you are freeing yourself of all the stuck and stagnant stuff that are going on in your being. I did it again. hold up. Okay, so stress. We all feel it. And to get real for a second, we live in a state where our nervous systems are always on high alert. Always. So anything I talk about emotional related, like properties and what they do, it's all cited from another one of my favorite books, which I didn't bring in with me for some reason, called Essential Emotions. This was one of the tools that I used through kind of my like baha moment. So tools to use through stress is, one of them is the adaptive oil. So again, lots of the oils are named after kind of the things that they do for us. So adaptive allows us to adapt to our environment, essentially. It imparts reassurance and calm when one is caught in cycles of constriction, tension, worry, and uneasiness. Adaptive invites us to examine where our reactions may be stemming from. So it doesn't just help you on like a surface level. Using it regularly helps you on like, helps you figure out the shit too. And it's cool. And then copaiba for stress as well. Copaiba is, or some people call it copaiba. It is comparable to a CBD, which most of you have heard of. So individuals in need of copaiba find that vulnerable self-awareness work reveals unresolved pain in hidden recesses of their heart, mind, and body. Many discover they are plagued with feelings of guilt, shame, inadequacy, and unworthiness. So this is a tool that supports through this. It was one, I don't necessarily do it so much anymore, not for any good reason, just kind of one of those things that fell off, but it was one that I would put underneath my tongue every single day, probably consistently for 4 years. And again, I don't really know why I stopped it. I just didn't do it anymore. Now, some other tools, because again, I'm all about the emotions, to use when you are experiencing stress is to pause if you are able. Allow yourself to reflect when you are able. What is the root of this stress that you're experiencing? Question whether it is in our control or outside of your control. Because if it is outside of your control, there's nothing you can do about it, babe. But if it's in your control, there's some things that you can change. Again, moving your body to release that energy. Inhaling, utilizing the oil tools that I talked about. Doing deep breaths. And, you know, when you implement good things regularly, so like moving your body, doing the good things for yourself, it becomes a lot easier to handle the stressors that is life. And we have sadness. So we're talking about the heartbreak, the grief, the loss, whatever it is you may be feeling that brings on the sadness. So first we have easy air. This is the one to expel grief. So this is for the one who is feeling suffocated by their grief and constricted from any emotion releasing from your body, supporting us to feel loved, supported, and trusting. And I like to tell people to roll this one over your lungs, because our lungs is what holds a lot of the grief in our bodies. And then we have console. So this one was formulated to support those in need of emotional comfort. So it kind of feels like a nice hug. It is what I use when I feel that that's what I need. I also seek out a real hug because that has such powerful benefits to our entire systems. Console is described as when a storm is raging in one's heart or mind, or when there is no relief from fear, emotional pain, or anxious feelings, it can assist us in taking the first step towards healing. Which, I mean, I just think it's so beautiful and so powerful. Other tips to use is, give yourself the space to feel it. There's no time limit. Your sadness, your whatever emotion you're feeling, it is valid. So give your space to feel it, and don't try to rush through it. Talk through it to a trusted person, to yourself, in writing. Again, use the oils for support, deep breaths, crying. It releases so much for us. Going for a walk intentional distraction. So I'm not a big fan of like spending hours upon hours doom scrolling or spending hours upon hours watching Netflix series, although I have my days, as we all do. I'm not talking about those kind of things. I'm talking about being intentional with your distraction, and what like it really essentially just means not doing it. Just setting a time frame, being intentional with it. I don't know how else to really explain that. And then we got the happy feels, because sometimes it is so hard to get to the happy. So this is for the support in getting there and being there. So lime is a zest for life. It is a reminder to be grateful for the gift of life. It cleanses our heart, especially when there has been an accumulation of emotional toxins due to avoidance or repression. And then we have wild orange, which is the oil of abundance. So it inspires abundance, it fosters creativity, supports positive moods. It can reconnect us to our inner child, bringing with it some spontaneity, fun, joy, and playfulness into our lives. And when I talk about the happy feels, I do not mean in the toxic positivity sort of way. I just mean allow yourself to feel happy, but also feel the feels when you need to. Other things that help this is doing things that fuel your soul. It's different for everybody. Say no when you do not want to do something. Stop being a people pleaser. Again, easier said than done and takes a lot of work. But we grew up in a world that teaches us that we need to think about others before we think about ourselves. And, that's just got to stop being the case, because, life is so much better when we think about ourselves. Joy. So like doing inner child work can help with this. I'm not going to get into that because I'm not an expert. Happy songs. I have a whole playlist that is full of songs that just make me happy. Dance, hug, love. And we got the anger. So this is the support. Oh, I totally messed that one up. Whoops. So anger, we all know what anger is. When you're feeling the like redness, the hot, the people are just pissing you off. So we have the forgive oil. This is, well, again, it's one of my favorites to grab when I'm angry at myself or at others. It is a helpful oil when one may be feeling cynical or begin to expect the worst from others. It is a tool for those who place blame on others for their own personal situations or misfortunes. And it challenges us to let go of bitterness and hostility. This is one that I use. I guess I'm not on video, but I will roll it in my hands. Actually, here, I'll put myself on video for a second. I will roll it in my hands and I will tense it over my face, and I'll take some deep breaths. And then usually I take the remnants of it and I just like kind of put it through my hair so that I can feel it throughout, well, for as long as it lasts, which is generally quite a while. And it just supports me in all the anger. And then we have cardamom, which is good for individuals with a long history of anger or aggression, which often becomes directed outwards. So it helps one to regain objectivity, mental sobriety, and self-control. It is helpful for those who hyper-focus on their problems and directs them to wonder how they can or need to take responsibility for their own lives. So other tools we can use, again, hugs calm our nervous system, deep breaths, acknowledging the anger, releasing the tension through tears, through movement or rage, punching, hitting, preferably not people or things that you can hurt yourself with. Yell. Again, not at people. They don't deserve to take on your anger, but yelling helps release that. Again, the oil tools that I just talked about, talking it through, giving yourself space to respond, if required, with intention over reaction. That's a big one. That's a hard one, to not react when things or people are coming at you. So some of the cool things that I love to tell people about is, it is said that when you reject oils, you are rejecting some form of emotion. So I'm going to give you an example, and I wish I brought my emotion book with me, but I did not. So there's an oil called Siberian fir, and it was an oil that I used in a lot of my blends. I loved it. Loved it. And then one day it started smelling like stinky feet and BO mixed together. And it was disgusting. And I realized that, frig, I wish I remembered exactly what emotion it was. But it smelled like that for so long. And it turned out that I was rejecting this whole side that I needed to work through, because now it smells like Siberian fir is supposed to again. It doesn't smell like the dirty, stinky BO feet that it did for a little bit. And it was after I worked through that stuff that it did. And, you know, something important to note is that there is no one size fits all for any of this, ever. We all have entirely different body systems. So what works for me might not work for you. And that's just really important to note. And then, of course, we have the diffusing. So this is the least woo of everything, although I can make it all woo because that is totally my jam. This is replacing your toxic chemicals with things that are going to support your body system without you even knowing until you do. The options are endless here. It goes hand in hand with listening to your intuition. You can make blends that smell like fall for when your home is feeling stuffy, to boost your immune system for energy, etc., etc., etc. It's, you know, this is a thing that replaces the candles that are full of the toxins. Well, most of them, lots of them are. But yeah, this is probably one of the places that the majority of people start, because again, it's the least woo, unless you make it woo like I do, talking about how it supports your body systems and stuff like that. And so my experience, we're coming to an end here. I went from somebody who didn't recognize my worth, and I made choices that depicted this. And yeah, sorry, I made choices that depicted me not recognizing my worth by the way that I treated my body, by the way that I really just went about life through, mostly throughout my 20s, I would say, but my teenage years too. And I've come into a woman who's in my feminine power and doing what aligns with me. I went from really closed off, not believing in much of anything, to wide open. I'm just gonna do this. I went from not being able to speak my truths, my life, to being able to unapologetically tell people how I feel and what all the stuff. You know, I am building a kind of life that I previously never even knew existed. I am jumping out of comfort zones, like doing things like this. Used to scare the bejeebas out of me. I was never somebody that liked to talk in front of people. To doing this, with I would say pretty confidently, like I'm not scared anymore. And you know, the biggest, most best, whatever one is aligning myself with the good people, aligning myself with beautiful, powerful people who are doing their own damn thing too. And it's just so amazing to watch and be surrounded by people who are doing that. All right. And then we have connection. So as I mentioned earlier and kind of throughout, I have linked some things. So if I am going to paste the link inside the chat if that works, because if anybody wants it, no, it's not going to work, of course. If anybody wants it, you can get this whole slideshow, so that you can access the links that are in here, as well as the recording if it's something that anybody might want. So there's some links there at the end, where that you can click on to shop the whole dōTERRA store. You can connect via my links page that takes you to all my things, and then my email is there as well. So that's that. That took a lot longer than I thought it would, but here we are. I'm so excited. I appreciate you for joining me, for sticking around, for all of the things. And I'm just going to stop recording to see if there's any questions.